All right, so welcome back for part 2 of our deep dive into Ouspensky and his unique way of looking at the tarot.
Glad to be back.
Yeah, me too. Last time we were kind of setting the stage right. We started unpacking this idea that the tarot isn't just about, fortune telling.
Right.
It's like a symbolic key to understanding the relationship between God, man, and the universe.
Yeah, and the structure of the deck itself kind of reflects this cosmic connection.
Right.
We have the 21 numbered cards forming this triangle of the divine.
Oh, yeah?
The Fool as that point of man at the center.
That's right.
And the 56 suit cards forming like a square.
Yeah.
The universe around it all.
So it's like the whole thing is like a blueprint.
Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
So with that structure, kind of like, holding that in our minds today, we're going to like zoom in,
Yeah.
get a little closer,
Absolutely.
be personal.
Yeah.
With Ouspensky's descriptions of like the individual cards and their paired meanings, now he arranges these 22 major arcana in a way that almost makes them talk to each other.
It is really interesting how he does that. Yeah.
It's like revealing these hidden connections that honestly I think can really change how you view consciousness.
Yeah, it's almost as if these images are having a conversation across time,
Wow.
whispering secrets to those who know how to listen.
Okay, so I'm ready to eavesdrop.
Let's do it.
Let's eavesdrop on this symbolic conversation.
Yeah, all right.
So let's start with the Magician.
Okay.
Card number 1, paired with the Fool,
All right.
our 0 card.
The 0 card.
Now, Ouspensky describes the Magician as this almost otherworldly figure, reaching from earth to heaven,
Yeah.
surrounded by this abundance of nature, adorned with an initiate's headband.
Yeah, and importantly, he has those 4 symbols of magic laid out before him.
Oh, that's right.
The scepter, the cup, the sword, the pentacle.
Yeah.
It's not just about the imagery, though, right? It's about what Ouspensky is saying here. The Magician embodies this idea that we can channel divine energy into the material world.
So are we all potential magicians then?
I think Ouspensky would say yes.
Ooh, I like that.
Now contrast that with the Fool.
Okay.
Lost, burdened, oblivious to the danger ahead.
Right.
Not exactly the picture of a masterful creator, is he?
Yeah, no, not quite. But
here's where it gets interesting.
yeah, tell me.
Even the Fool, despite his apparent cluelessness, right?
Yeah.
He still carries those same 4 magic symbols.
Oh, he does.
It makes you wonder, what's Ouspensky getting at here?
Right. It's like he's got the tools, but doesn't know how to use them yet.
Exactly. It's almost as if he's saying that even in our moments of, feeling lost or clueless, even when we feel like the Fool, we still possess the potential for greatness.
Okay.
The tools for transformation are within us, even if we don't realize it.
That really resonates with me because I know there are times in my life where I feel like I'm on top of things. I'm manifesting my desires.
Sure.
Everything's working.
Right.
But then there are definitely times when I'm like the Fool.
Yeah.
Just totally messing things up left and right,
Absolutely.
Like, what was I thinking?
Yeah.
I'm guessing that a lot of people listening can probably relate to that.
Oh, yeah, of course. I mean, we're all on this journey, right?
That's right.
Of self-discovery.
Yeah.
Sometimes mastering our craft, other times stumbling around in the dark.
Totally.
But the key is to just keep moving forward.
Yeah.
Keep learning and growing, regardless of which archetype we embody.
I love that.
Okay.
Okay, so
Okay.
shifting gears a little bit to our next pair.
Okay.
We have the High Priestess,
All right.
card number 2, and the World,
Okay.
card number 21.
All right.
Now, the High Priestess is described as this, figure of feminine wisdom,
Yes.
sitting in the temple of initiation, veiled in mystery.
Yeah.
She's got keys, an open book,
Right.
this aura of knowing secrets.
Yeah, she represents that intuitive knowledge that lies beyond like the everyday world.
Okay.
Ouspensky's saying, look, this wisdom exists,
Okay.
but you have to go seeking it.
So how does that connect to the World card?
Right.
Which seems so different because it has this imagery of like a whirling circle of light, a dancing woman, and then these 4 apocalyptic beasts at the edges of this whirlwind.
A lion, an eagle, a bull, and a man.
It's a lot. Right.
Yeah.
And yet they're connected.
Okay, how?
Think of it this way. The High Priestess,
Yeah.
she invites you to enter that temple of initiation to explore the mysteries of your own being.
Oh, okay.
And when you do that, you begin to see the world, not as chaos, but as the World card depicts it.
Right.
a beautiful, intricate dance of creation
Oh, wow.
and destruction. So by tapping into that inner wisdom that High Priestess within, we gain a deeper understanding of how everything is connected.
Exactly.
It's a profound shift in perspective.
Wow, okay, I like that.
Now, I'm curious, what feelings do those images evoke in you? Do you see the world as more chaotic or more of a dance?
I would say it kind of depends on the day, honestly.
Sure.
Some days it's all whirling chaos, you know?
Yeah.
Other days it's beautiful and flowing. But the idea that I can access that High Priestess within to help me see things differently is really powerful.
It is. And that's what Ouspensky's trying to show us.
Okay, I'm into it. So let's move on to our next pair.
Right.
We have the Empress,
Okay.
card number 3, and Judgment,
Okay.
card number 20.
Right.
Now, the Empress is all about springtime.
Yeah.
Abundance. Ouspensky describes her sitting on this throne in this like blooming garden, surrounded by fragrant flowers and lush greenery.
She embodies that joy and the abundance of life bursting forth.
And then we have Judgment.
Okay.
A very different image.
Yeah, totally different.
We have this icy plain graves opening up.
Okay.
A messenger blowing a trumpet.
Yeah.
It feels very stark and almost unsettling.
Right, kind of spooky.
Yeah.
Okay, so how do these two cards, one so vibrant and full of life, the other depicting, you know, death even,
right,
how do they fit together?
Well, Ouspensky links them through this concept of the cycle of life and death.
Okay.
So the Empress represents creation, while Judgment symbolizes renewal and rebirth.
Okay.
He suggests that these two seemingly opposite forces are really just two sides of the same coin, essential parts of existence.
It's like saying that the Empress is the flower in full bloom, and Judgment is that scattering of its seeds carrying that potential for new life.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
So thinking about this cycle, how do you personally relate to the idea of death as part of life?
Yeah, as a stage in the cycle of transformation.
Yeah, that's a big question. I think for me, it's about accepting that change is the only constant. You know, everything's in flux, dying and being reborn in new forms.
Right.
It's almost a relief, in a way, to recognize that.
It is. It allows us to let go of those attachments.
That's right.
And open ourselves up to new possibilities.
All right, I love that. So let's move on to a particularly powerful pair.
Yeah.
We've got the Emperor, card number 4, and the Sun, card number 19.
Okay.
So the Emperor, you know, he is this imposing figure, sitting on a throne adorned with ram's heads, golden helmet, flowing white beard.
Yes.
He's holding a sphere and a scepter shaped like an Egyptian cross.
Yeah, it's a total power move.
Yeah. It is.
And that's exactly what Ouspensky is conveying.
Okay.
He's not just a king.
Right.
He represents the great law.
Okay.
The tetragrammaton.
What is that?
The Hebrew name for God representing this divine power and creation.
Okay.
Manifested in like the 4 principles, elements, and seasons.
Okay. So he's like the cosmic architect.
Exactly.
Establishing this order and structure within the universe.
Precisely.
Okay.
And the sun card paired with him is pure radiance.
Yeah, it is.
Sunflowers. Naked boy riding a white horse.
Oh, yeah.
Symbolizing victory and liberation.
So is it like the Emperor's power made manifest?
Precisely.
Like life-giving energy flowing through creation?
Ouspensky sees the sun as the actual manifestation of that creative power.
Okay.
The tetragrammaton.
The tetragrammaton.
Now, thinking about these figures, what areas of your life feel ruled by the Emperor? You know, by a sense of order and structure?
Oh, good question.
Yeah.
I think my work life definitely has that Emperor energy.
Yeah.
You know, lots of structured deadlines, a clear hierarchy. It's not always fun, but it's definitely orderly.
Right.
How about you?
I can relate to that. But I think there's also an emperor within each of us. You know, that inner discipline and drive. Yeah. That helps us achieve our goals. It's about finding that balance between order and freedom.
I like that.
Structure and flow.
So are you ready for our next pair?
Absolutely.
All right.
Let's dive in.
This one seems particularly intriguing.
Yeah.
We've got the Chariot, card number 5, and the Moon, card number 18.
Okay.
So the Chariot depicts this conqueror, you know, standing tall in his chariot, drawn by these 2 sphinxes, one white,
one black.
one black.
Yeah.
He's decked out in armor, holding a scepter, seems to be riding toward victory.
It's an image of willpower and ambition.
Okay.
The drive to conquer and achieve.
Right, but I feel like there's more to it than that.
But Ouspensky wants us to look beyond the surface here.
Yeah,
you know?
I can feel it.
Yeah.
Especially when we contrast it with the moon card, which has like a completely different vibe.
Totally.
Desolate, plain, eerie moonlight. A wolf and dog howling in the distance.
Yeah, definitely gives me a sense of unease.
Yeah, me too.
It's exactly what it's meant to evoke.
Really?
It's a card of illusion.
Okay.
And the subconscious.
Okay.
It reminds us that outward appearances can be deceiving.
Okay.
It's like Ouspensky is saying, hey, don't mistake external achievements for real spiritual progress.
Okay, so he's saying that drive for conquest that we see in the chariot can actually lead us astray.
He's highlighting the potential for delusion and self-deception when we focus solely on external conquest.
Right.
The real journey, according to Ouspensky, lies in conquering our inner world, facing our shadows, and integrating those opposing forces within us.
Oh, I see.
Like those two sphinxes pulling the chariot.
So it's like you could win every battle out in the world, but still be a prisoner of your own mind and emotions.
Exactly.
Wow.
True strength comes from inner mastery.
I like that a lot.
You know, to bring this home for you listening, where in your life do you feel driven by that desire for external validation? And how can you shift your focus to cultivate more of that inner strength and self-mastery?
That's such a relevant question, you know?
It is.
I think we're all susceptible to seeking that validation from the outside world, whether it's through you know, our careers, possessions, social status.
Of course.
It takes real work to cultivate a sense of worth that doesn't depend on those things.
It does.
Yeah.
But that's the work that ultimately leads to lasting fulfillment.
Okay, I'm ready for another card pair.
All right.
What do we have next?
This one gets to the heart of a lot of human experience.
Oh, okay.
It's the Lovers.
Okay.
Card number 6. And the Devil, card number 15.
Okay.
Now, the Lovers card is often seen as a symbol of romance and harmony.
Yeah.
And Ouspensky's description starts there.
Okay.
He depicts a naked couple in a beautiful garden.
All right.
And their love is serving as this bridge to the divine.
Sounds idyllic.
But knowing Ouspensky,
yeah,
I'm guessing there's more to it than meets the eye.
I was just thinking that. What's the catch?
Well, we have to contrast this with the Devil card,
which
paints a much darker picture.
Yeah, that's right.
This devilish figure, the chained man and woman who were the lovers but now have horns and tails.
Right.
It's unsettling.
It is. So is he saying that love itself can be like a source of evil?
Not quite.
Okay.
It's more nuanced than that. The Devil card represents like the shatter side of love.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Yeah.
It's about how love can be distorted and misused, becoming a tool for domination and control.
So it's not love itself.
Right.
But what we do with it.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
But how do we know when love is becoming that kind of trap?
Ouspensky's highlighting the importance of cultivating a love that is rooted in freedom and respect.
Okay.
A connection to something greater than ourselves.
Okay.
You know, when it becomes possessive or conditional, that's when it can turn into its opposite.
It's such an important distinction.
It is.
Because it's like the difference between love that expands our consciousness and love that limits our freedom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This card pair really challenges us to examine our own relationships.
That's right.
And the kind of love that we're cultivating.
It really does.
Yeah.
Okay. Ready for another pair?
Yeah. Let's see what clues we can uncover.
Go ahead, bring them on.
Okay. We've got the Hierophant.
Okay.
Card number 7. Paired with the Tower.
All right.
Card number 16.
Okay.
Now, the Hierophant is depicted as this high priest sitting on a golden throne wearing ornate robes, holding a golden cross.
Okay.
There are 2 initiates bowing before him, seeking his guidance.
Okay, so he represents tradition, spiritual authority, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Okay. He's the gatekeeper to establish systems of belief.
Okay.
But Ouspensky warns against blindly following those external authorities.
Okay.
He sees a danger in mistaking outward forms and structures for true spiritual knowledge.
So while the Hierophant might offer like valuable guidance, we need to be careful not to get stuck in dogma and blind faith.
Precisely.
Yeah.
He's saying, build your own inner tower of understanding. Don't just rely on someone else's blueprint.
That's really relevant today.
It is.
You know,
Yeah.
there's so much information coming at us.
Absolutely.
But all directions, like,
yeah.
we need to develop that inner compass to navigate it all.
We do.
Yeah, okay.
Now, contrast that with the Tower card.
Okay.
Which depicts a tower being struck by lightning with people falling from its heights.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It's a stark contrast to the Hierophant's stability.
It is.
Yeah.
So the tower seems to represent this sudden collapse of everything we thought was solid and secure.
Wow. Okay.
Ouspensky is reminding us that even the most seemingly solid structures can crumble, forcing us to confront the impermanence of the material world.
So he's connecting the Hierophant, who represents those established structures, to the tower, which represents their destruction. Okay, but how does that work?
He's highlighting the danger of becoming too attached to those outward forms and structures.
Yeah.
The tower serves as a reminder that those things can be taken away in an instant.
Wow.
Forcing us to seek a more solid foundation within ourselves.
So it's like we might spend years building our lives around written beliefs or ideologies, only to have them shattered by unforeseen circumstances.
Exactly.
Wow.
The tower is a wake-up call.
Yeah.
Urging us to seek a truth that transcends any particular structure or belief system.
That's powerful. I think we'll stop there for now.
Sounds good to me.
Let that sink in. It's a lot to take in, but that's what makes Ouspensky's interpretation of the tarot so fascinating.
It really is.
Yeah. It's fascinating. You know how Ouspensky pairs these cards together?
Yeah.
It's like he's encouraging us to hold these seemingly opposite ideas in our minds.
I know. It's like with the Hierophant and the Tower.
Yeah.
It's a powerful reminder that even the things that we think are so, rock solid can crumble.
Absolutely.
It makes you realize that nothing is truly permanent.
Exactly. And I think that's an important lesson for navigating life in general, right?
Yeah.
Things are rarely black and white. There's always nuance.
That's right.
Embracing that nuance.
Yeah.
Those apparent contradictions can lead to a much deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us.
I totally agree. Okay, so let's see what other nuances we can unpack with the next pair.
Right.
We've got Strength card number 8.
Okay.
And the Hermit card number 9.
Right.
Now, Strength is usually depicted as a woman gently taming a lion, right? It's about inner power and resilience, that kind of thing.
But it's not about brute force.
Okay.
The woman in the card isn't overpowering the lion.
Right.
She's taming it with a gentle touch, with love and confidence. For Ouspensky, this represents the power of unity, the ability to integrate our primal instincts, those wild parts of ourselves, and harness them for a higher purpose.
I really like that interpretation.
Yeah.
It's not about suppressing our nature.
Right.
But about working with it.
Exactly.
Finding that harmony between the different aspects of ourselves.
Yeah.
Like we all have that lion inside.
Sure.
Those urges and desires. But we don't have to be ruled by them.
Precisely.
Okay.
And then we have the Hermit, who represents a completely different kind of power.
Oh.
The power of introspection, of turning inward to seek wisdom and guidance.
Okay.
He's often depicted as this solitary figure, cloaked and hooded, holding a lantern that illuminates his path.
Right.
It's a very different energy from Strength's active engagement.
It is. He seems more focused on self-reliance, seeking knowledge from within rather than from the outside world.
Exactly.
So how do these two cards, one representing outward strength and the other this inward focus, how do they work together?
What's fascinating is that Ouspensky sees both Strength and the Hermit as essential aspects of the path to self-realization. He's saying you need both. Strength is about mastering the external world. Integrating your instincts, finding the courage to act.
Yeah.
The Hermit is about turning inward, seeking wisdom and guidance from within.
I'm starting to see a pattern here with these pairings.
Yeah.
It's like he's presenting two sides of a coin, two seemingly opposite approaches that are actually complementary.
Right.
Like, first you conquer your fears and master the outer world.
Yeah.
That's the Strength energy. And then you retreat into solitude to integrate those experiences.
Yeah.
That's the Hermit.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay.
It's a cyclical process.
Yeah.
Moving between outward expansion and inward integration. Both are necessary for true growth and transformation.
It's like we need both that fiery energy of strength to take action and the stillness of the Hermit to reflect and make sense of it all.
Absolutely.
And I'm noticing that as we go through these cards, I'm starting to see them play out in my own life.
Yeah.
It's like they're not just these abstract symbols, but reflections of my own inner world.
I think that's one of the most powerful aspects of the tarot.
Yeah.
It's a mirror, reflecting back to us our own patterns, challenges, and potential.
Right.
So as we discuss these cards, you know, think about your own journey.
Okay.
What inner strengths are you cultivating? And how are those strengths guiding you?
Yeah.
Are you more drawn to outward action like strength or inward contemplation like Hermit right now?
Those are great questions. I'm definitely more of a strength person, always charging ahead. But I'm starting to see the value in that Hermit energy.
Sure.
That need for reflection and introspection.
Right.
It's definitely something I need to work on.
Okay, ready to tackle another pair? You bet. Let's spin the wheel with this next one.
Okay.
It's the Wheel of Fortune, card number 10, and Death card number 13.
Ooh, the Wheel of Fortune and Death. Sounds a bit dramatic even for the tarot.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Wheel of Fortune, that's usually depicted as well. A wheel.
Right.
Often with figures ascending and descending along its rim. Like those old game shows where you spin the wheel and hope for the best.
Yes, it's that classic image of fate, fortune, and misfortune, constantly shifting the ups and downs of life.
Right.
Ouspensky describes it as the wheel of life ever changing and ever remaining the same.
Wow.
It represents that cyclical nature of time, those inevitable ebbs and flows we all experience.
It's that feeling of being at the mercy of forces beyond our control.
Right.
Sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we have a death, which is often seen as a card of transformation rather than literal death.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's about endings, transitions, the shedding of old patterns to make way for the new.
Okay.
It can be a bit scary,
right?
But it's ultimately a natural and necessary part of life.
Okay, so I'm seeing a connection here.
Yeah.
Ouspensky's putting these two cards together to show us that change is constant.
Precisely. He sees the Wheel of Fortune and Death as two sides of the same coin. Change.
Okay.
The wheel represents the cyclical nature of change, those external ups and downs. Death represents the transformative power of change, the internal process of letting go and embracing the new.
So it's like the Wheel of Fortune is the outward manifestation of change, those events and circumstances that happen to us.
Yeah.
And death is that inner work of adapting and evolving.
That's a great way to put it. The Wheel of Fortune is the dance. Death is the music guiding the steps.
Oh, I like that. So thinking about this, what cycles are you going through right now?
Yeah.
Are you feeling more like you're on an upward swing or a downward turn of the wheel? And how are you navigating those changes?
Yeah.
Are you embracing that transformative power of death, allowing yourself to let go of what's no longer serving you and step into the new?
Wow, those are really insightful questions.
Yeah.
I think I'm somewhere in between, honestly.
Yeah.
There are areas of my life that feel like they're in a state of flux, but I'm also working on letting go of some old patterns and beliefs that are holding me back.
Yeah.
It's definitely a process. What about you?
Yeah.
Do you find yourself drawn to certain cards more than others, depending on what's happening in your life?
Oh, absolutely. I think we all gravitate towards different cards at different times. You know, the tarot's like a roadmap of the human experience.
Right.
And we each kind of find our own way through it.
Exactly.
The key is to stay open to the lessons each card offers, even the ones that might feel challenging or uncomfortable.
Absolutely.
Okay, ready to see what the next card pair has in store for us?
Always. Let's keep exploring.
All right, let's dive into Justice.
Okay.
Card number 11. And the Hanged Man, card number 12.
All right.
Justice is typically depicted as a blindfolded figure holding scales and a sword, right?
Yes.
That classic image of fairness and balance.
But Ouspensky interprets it a little differently.
Okay.
He sees justice as representing real knowledge.
Okay.
A deeper understanding of the laws that govern the universe.
Okay.
It's not about punishment or reward, but about recognizing the interconnectedness of all things and the consequences of our actions.
This is more about cause and effect than about good and bad.
Exactly.
Okay.
Like, every action has a reaction, and justice represents that universal law.
Right. Okay.
Now, contrast that with the Hanged Man, which is one of the more enigmatic cards in the deck.
Right.
He's usually depicted as a figure suspended upside down, often with a serene expression on his face.
It's like, hey, I'm hanging upside down, but I'm totally chill with it.
Right.
It's definitely a card that makes you pause and think.
It does.
Yeah.
Ouspensky sees the hanged man as representing the pain of higher consciousness, the feeling of being trapped by the limitations of our physical bodies and the mental constructs of our minds.
Okay.
But he also sees it as a necessary stage in the process of awakening.
So it's about surrendering to a new perspective.
Yeah.
Letting go of our old ways of seeing the world, even if it feels uncomfortable or disorienting.
Precisely.
Okay.
It's like justice is about understanding the laws of the universe.
Yeah.
While the hanged man is about transcending those laws, finding a higher truth that lies beyond the limitations of our ordinary perception.
So we're shifting from a limited egocentric perspective to a more expansive cosmic awareness.
Exactly.
That's a pretty radical shift.
It is. And this card pair invites us to examine our own relationship with truth and knowledge. What truths are you holding on to? And are you willing to let go of those truths to see the world from a new perspective? Even if it means feeling a bit disoriented at first.
Honestly, I think we all cling to certain beliefs and ideas, even when they're no longer serving us.
Right.
It's human nature to resist change.
It is.
But I'm starting to see how important it is to be willing to question those beliefs.
Yeah.
To be open to new ways of seeing things.
It's not easy.
Right.
But it's essential for growth.
Okay.
Okay, ready for another round of tarot exploration?
Absolutely. I'm ready to see what other wisdom awaits us.
All right, let's dive into Temperance.
Okay.
Card number 14.
Uh-huh.
And the star card number 17.
Right.
Temperance is typically depicted as an angel pouring liquid between two cups.
Okay.
Symbolizing balance, harmony, and moderation.
It's about finding that middle path.
Right.
Avoiding extremes. Blending things together to create something new. It reminds me of alchemy, that process of transformation and finding the perfect balance of elements.
Exactly. And Ouspensky sees temperance as representing a profound spiritual achievement.
Okay.
He even calls it the arcana magnum of the occultists.
Wow.
The fourth dimension.
Okay.
Higher space.
All right.
The eternal now.
Whoa, okay. That sounds pretty intense.
Yeah.
So is he saying temperance is about transcending time and space?
He's suggesting that by achieving a state of inner balance and harmony, we can access a higher level of consciousness, one that's not bound by the limitations of how we normally perceive time and space.
It's like we're stepping outside of that linear flow of time and entering a realm of infinite possibilities.
Precisely.
Wow.
And then we have the star card.
Yeah.
Often seen as a symbol of hope, inspiration, and renewal. Ouspensky describes it as the real aspect of the astral world, a realm of radiant thought and emotion that can be accessed through ecstatic experiences.
Like a glimpse into a higher realm of existence.
Yeah.
A world of pure light and beauty.
Right.
But how do we access that realm?
Ouspensky connects the star to the imagination, suggesting that by cultivating our imaginative faculties, we can tap into this realm of infinite possibilities and bring those possibilities into being in the physical world.
Okay, so I'm starting to see how these two cards fit together. Temperance is about achieving that inner harmony, which allows us to transcend limitations.
Right.
And the star is about using our imagination to tap into that infinite potential that exists within that higher realm.
Exactly.
It's almost like a two-step process.
Yeah.
First, find your center, then let your imagination soar.
That's a fantastic way to put it.
Okay.
And it speaks to the transformative power of aligning our inner and outer worlds. When we achieve that inner balance, we become more receptive to inspiration and guidance from those higher realms. Right. And when we combine that inspiration with the power of our imagination, well, we can create amazing things in our lives.
It's like we become co-creators with the universe.
Yes.
Manifesting our desires through this harmonious blend of inner peace, inspired action, and creative imagination.
Absolutely.
It's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it.
It is.
Yeah.
And it brings us back to that idea that we discussed at the beginning. Man, represented by the Fool, has the potential to be equal to the universe.
Wow.
When we align ourselves with that divine spark within, we unlock the power to shape our reality.
Okay, I love that. It's so empowering.
It is.
Thinking about these cards, what inspires you, what brings you that sense of hope and renewal.
Yeah.
And how do you tap into the power of your imagination to manifest those inspirations?
For me, inspiration comes from connecting with nature. listening to beautiful music, and engaging in meaningful conversations like this one.
I love that.
Yeah.
And as for tapping into that imaginative power, I think it involves cultivating a sense of playfulness, allowing myself to dream big, and being willing to experiment with new ways of being and doing in the world.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's about approaching life with a sense of wonder and curiosity, allowing yourself to be guided by your intuition and inspiration.
Right.
Not taking yourself too seriously.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That spirit of playfulness and exploration is key to unlocking the magic that's available to us all.
Couldn't agree more.
Okay, ready to keep this magical journey going?
Absolutely. Lead the way.
All right, let's delve into the moon.
Okay.
Card number 18. And the devil card number 15.
All right.
We've already touched on these cards briefly,
Yeah.
but I'm ready to explore them a bit deeper.
Okay.
Remember that desolate plain bathed in moonlight? The howling animals, that eerie feeling?
Yes. The moon is a card of shadows, illusions, and the unknown. It represents the subconscious mind, the realm of dreams, fears, and hidden desires. It's a place where things aren't always what they seem.
Right.
Yeah.
And we're contrasting that with the devil.
Yes.
Which Ouspensky describes as weakness, falsehood, the fall of man into separateness, into hatred, and into finiteness.
Wow.
We see the chained couple again.
Right.
Now with horns and tails. And that menacing devil figure with a burning torch.
Yeah. It's a pretty intense image.
It is.
Yeah.
So is he saying that the moon, that shadowy realm of the subconscious, is somehow connected to the devil?
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Ouspensky is suggesting that the fears and illusions we encounter in the realm of the moon are often the very things that keep us chained to the devil. Our own subconscious patterns, our limiting beliefs, our self-sabotaging behaviors, they create the conditions for those external forces to manipulate and control us.
It's like our own inner demons are giving power to the external devils.
Right.
That's a pretty scary thought, actually.
It can be, but it's also empowering because it means we have the power to break free.
Okay.
Ouspensky is reminding us that true liberation begins with inner work. We have to confront our shadow selves, shine a light on those hidden fears and desires, and dismantle the internal structures that are keeping us bound.
So it's like the moon is inviting us to explore the depths of our subconscious.
Right.
And the devil is challenging us to break free from the chains that bind us to our own self-created prisons.
That's a powerful way to put it.
Oh.
And this card pair raises a crucial question for all of us.
Okay.
What fears and illusions are holding you back? What internal patterns are you ready to let go of?
It's a lot to think about.
It is.
And it makes me realize how important it is to cultivate self-awareness and compassion as we navigate these shadowy realms within ourselves.
Absolutely. It's not about judging ourselves for those shadows, but about acknowledging them with understanding. When we can do that, we can begin to transform them into sources of strength and wisdom.
Well said. Okay, ready to explore another pair?
Absolutely. Let's continue our journey.
All right, next up we have the Sun, card number 19, and the World card number 21.
All right.
I've already talked about the Sun briefly.
Yeah.
But I'm ready to dive a little deeper.
Okay.
Those sunflowers, the radiant light, the sense of pure joy. It's hard not to feel uplifted by that image.
It is.
Yeah.
And Ouspensky sees the sun as representing that divine creative force that flows through all creation. It's the source of warmth, light, and abundance.
Okay.
It's like the pure expression of creative energy, unhindered by fear or doubt.
And we're pairing that with the world.
Right.
Which we also discussed briefly.
Yeah.
It's that image of the dancing woman within a wreath, surrounded by the four apocalyptic beasts.
Right.
The lion, eagle, bull, and man, representing the totality of existence.
The culmination of the journey. The realization of our full potential as co-creators with the divine.
It's a card of wholeness and completion.
Exactly.
Okay, so how did these two cards connect?
Yeah.
One representing pure creative energy, and the other the integration of all aspects of being.
Ouspensky sees them as representing two stages in our spiritual evolution. The sun represents the awakening of our creative power, the realization of our divine potential.
Right.
The world represents the integration of that power into all aspects of our being.
Okay.
The manifestation of that potential in the world around us.
So it's like The sun is the spark of creation,
Yeah.
the raw energy.
Yeah.
And the world is the full flowering of that energy.
Right.
The harmonious expression of our divine nature.
That's a beautiful way to put it.
Okay.
It highlights the journey of transformation we all undertake.
Okay.
We start with that spark of potential, and through growth, integration, and creative expression,
Right.
we arrive at a state of wholeness and completion. It's an ongoing process, of course.
Right.
But that's the ultimate goal.
It's like we're moving from the raw energy of the sun to the refined expression of the world, bringing that divine spark into every aspect of our lives.
Exactly.
What creative passions are burning brightly within you? How can you bring those passions into fuller expression in the world?
Those are wonderful questions to reflect on.
Yeah.
It's not enough to simply awaken to our potential.
Right.
We also have to act, express ourselves,
Right.
and contribute our unique gifts to the world.
Well said. I love how Ouspensky's interpretation of the tarot isn't just about abstract concepts,
Yeah.
but about how we can use these symbols to understand ourselves and live more fulfilling lives.
That's what makes it so powerful.
Yeah.
It's not just a system of divination, but a tool for self-discovery and transformation.
All right, ready for our final card pair for this part of our deep dive.
Bring it on. I'm ready to see what wisdom awaits us in this last pairing.
Okay, so we have Judgment.
Okay.
Card number 20. And the Fool card number 0.
All right.
We've discussed both of these cards already.
Yeah.
But I'm curious to see how their meanings evolve in this particular pairing.
Okay.
Remember that image of the icy plain,
Right.
the graves opening, and the messenger blowing his trumpet, calling the dead to awaken?
Yes, Judgment is a powerful image of transformation and renewal.
Right.
The shedding of old forms to make way for the new.
Yeah, it can be a bit intimidating, but also exciting.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ouspensky sees Judgment as representing the constant victory of life over death.
Okay.
That creative activity of nature that's always at work, even in the midst of destruction. It's a reminder that endings are always followed by new beginnings.
It's like the cycle of life and death is not a straight line, but a spiral always moving upwards, evolving towards greater complexity and awareness.
Right.
And then we have the Fool, who represents that uninitiated soul,
Right.
unaware of his potential and the dangers ahead.
He's that bumbling figure lost on his journey, oblivious to the precipice.
Right.
But he also carries those 4 magical symbols in his bag,
That's right.
representing the potential for transformation that lies dormant within him.
Yeah, he's a blank slate full of possibility.
Exactly.
So by pairing Judgment with the Fool, is Ouspensky saying that it's through our mistakes, our failures, those moments of feeling lost and foolish, that we're often propelled towards our greatest growth?
Precisely.
Okay.
It's like saying that the fool, through his stumbles and missteps, eventually learns to recognize the call of judgment, the invitation to let go of his old ways of being and embrace a new level of consciousness.
Right.
He's forced to evolve.
It's like the fall from grace
Yeah.
is what ultimately leads us to redemption.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that those moments when we feel most lost, when our world seems to be falling apart, can actually be the most potent catalysts for awakening.
Exactly.
Wow.
It's like the seed that has to be buried in darkness before it can sprout and blossom.
So thinking about your own journey, what falls from grace have you experienced? And how have those experiences ultimately served your growth?
That's a deep question.
Yeah.
I think we all have those moments where we look back and realize that what seemed like a setback or a failure at the time actually turned out to be a blessing in disguise. It's like those experiences, however painful, brought us to where we are today, stronger and wiser.
I think that's a powerful reminder that even in our darkest moments, there's always the potential for renewal and transformation.
Absolutely.
We just have to be open to it.
That's such a beautiful thought.
It is. Okay, I think that wraps up our exploration of Ouspensky's card pairings for now.
It has been quite a journey, hasn't it? Weaving through this intricate tapestry of symbolism and meaning.
It really has. But before we move on to the final 3 cards,
I
want to leave you with one last question to ponder.
All right.
If you were to design your own tarot card to represent your current state of being, what symbols would you choose and why? Think about the colors, the images, the overall feeling you want to convey.
Right.
What would your card reveal about your journey, your challenges, and your aspirations?
That's a wonderful question for reflection.
Yeah.
It invites us to tap into our own intuitive understanding of symbolism and create a personal language of meaning that speaks to our unique experiences.
Right.
It's like creating a self-portrait of the soul.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So take some time to contemplate this question.
Yeah.
Allow your imagination to run wild and see what emerges.
It might surprise you.
Okay, that feels like a great place to pause for now.
All right.
We'll be back for the final part of our Ouspensky Tarot journey very soon. All right, so welcome back. I feel like we've really been on a journey with these cards.
It has been quite a journey, hasn't it?
Yeah, it really has.
Yeah.
Exploring these, depths of his insights and interpretations.
Yeah.
It's really changed how I see the cards.
Absolutely. For this final segment.
Yeah, for this final segment, we're going to shift focus to the last 3 cards of the Major Arcana.
Okay.
We've got the Hierophant card number 7, Strength card number 8, and the Hermit card number 9.
Okay.
Now, Ouspensky groups these 3 together in a really interesting way.
It does.
He sees these cards as representing the path to higher knowledge.
Yeah.
What he calls theosophy.
Right.
And they offer a kind of guidance for anyone seeking to move beyond the limitations of the ordinary world.
Right.
Okay, so let's start with the Hierophant.
Okay.
Now, we've bumped into him a couple times already.
Yeah.
But I'm ready to, really understand him on his own.
Yeah.
He's depicted as that high priest, seated on a golden throne within a temple.
Yeah. The guardian of established beliefs, holding the keys to ancient wisdom.
Right.
But you remember, I mentioned Ouspensky has some warnings about the Hierophant, too.
That's right, yeah.
He cautions us against blindly following those external authorities.
Right.
Reminding us that there's a danger in mistaking outward forms and structures for true spiritual understanding.
So while the Hierophant might point us in the right direction, it's ultimately up to us to walk the path.
Yes.
And find our own truth.
Precisely.
We can't just blindly accept what we're told.
You can't.
Ouspensky stresses the importance of seeking knowledge from within.
Yes.
Building our own understanding.
Yeah.
Rather than just relying solely on these external structures or dogmas.
And that feels so relevant today.
It really does.
Yeah.
We're bombarded with information constantly.
Yes, we are.
It's more crucial than ever to develop that inner discernment.
Yes.
That ability to sift through it all and find what truly resonates.
It is.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move on to Strength.
Okay.
Card number 8.
Oh, great.
Now, we've encountered her in those pairings.
We have.
But I'm curious about her individual meaning in this context of seeking higher knowledge. She's the one gently taming the lion.
Precisely.
It's such a powerful image of inner strength and resilience.
But not through force.
But not through force.
Yeah. Ouspensky emphasizes that this strength isn't about dominating others, but about mastering our own inner world.
Yeah.
It's about harnessing our instincts and desires, those lion energies, and directing them towards something greater.
It's like that saying, be the change you want to see in the world.
Exactly.
True strength comes from transforming ourselves, not from trying to force change on others.
Beautifully said.
Thanks.
And I think that's particularly relevant, in times of uncertainty and upheaval.
Oh, yeah.
When the world feels chaotic, it's easy to feel powerless.
Yeah.
But that inner strength, that ability to choose love over fear is always available to us.
It's a good reminder that we always have the power to choose our response to create a more harmonious world.
Yes.
Both within and around us.
Absolutely.
Okay. Are you ready to explore that final card in this triad of higher knowledge?
Bring on the Hermit.
All right. The Hermit.
He's always intriguing me.
Yeah, he's always intrigued me too.
That solitary figure seeking wisdom in the silence.
Yeah. What's Ouspensky's take on him?
The Hermit card number 9 is often depicted as a cloaked and hooded figure, holding a lantern to light his path.
Right.
He embodies introspection, self-reliance, and that deep inner search for wisdom.
So he seems to represent that idea of knowing thyself.
Yeah.
Of turning inward to find the answers we seek.
Exactly.
But doesn't that contradict the idea of seeking higher knowledge?
Right.
Like, if it's all within, why do we need a path?
That's a great question. Ouspensky doesn't see it as a contradiction.
Okay.
He emphasizes that the hermit's journey isn't about withdrawing from the world completely, but about cultivating that inner strength and wisdom so we can better navigate the challenges of life.
So it's like we need that time and solitude.
Yeah.
Reflecting and connecting with our own inner guidance.
Exactly.
So we can return to the world with a renewed sense of purpose and clarity.
Precisely. The Hermit reminds us that true wisdom isn't something we can just download from a book or a teacher.
Right.
It has to be cultivated from within.
Okay.
Through experience, reflection, and that deep inner knowing.
It's like that saying, the kingdom of heaven is within you.
Exactly.
You know, we have to find our own inner light before we can illuminate the world around us.
Beautifully put. And I think that brings our deep dive into Ouspensky's tarot symbolism to a close.
It has been quite a journey.
It has.
Exploring the depths of his insights and interpretations has really, changed how I see the cards.
And it's been a pleasure sharing this exploration with you.
Me too.
Yeah, I think the most important takeaway from Ouspensky is that the true power of the tarot lies not in fortune-telling, but in illuminating the present moment.
Yes.
In revealing the potential for transformation within each of us.
So as we conclude this deep dive, we encourage you to continue exploring the symbolism of the tarot.
Yeah.
Find your own meaning in these images and allow them to spark your own unique journey of self-discovery.
The journey is the destination.
I love that.
May your path be filled with wonder, wisdom, and the ever-unfolding mystery of the self.